Now, we've covered all that's transpired so far. Now, to understand the implications of this, we have with us Rahesha, who has more details on this. Over to you, Rahesha.
Thanks, Aim. Now, it has been 120 days since Hamas launched its surprise assault on Israel, and we've seen what has transpired after that. And over 15 days since the International Court of Justice ruled, and I'm quoting here, Israel must take all measures within its power to prevent genocidal acts in Gaza. The court just fell short of ordering a ceasefire in Gaza. However, an overwhelming majority of 17 judges voted for emergency measures to be implemented. There were 6 such measures that were declared. Let's tell you about these measures. Number 1, it said that it should prevent commission of all acts under Article 2 of UN's Genocide Convention. That's the first measure that they came out with. After that, the World Court also stated that Israel must prevent its military from committing genocidal acts with immediate effect. Apart from that, 16 out of 17 judges ruled that Israel must prevent and punish direct or public incitement to commit genocide in relation to Palestinians in the Gaza Strip. The court also directed Israel to provide humanitarian help and basic services to all the Palestinians living in Gaza. The World Court also entrusted Israel with the task of preserving evidence in Gaza related to alleged acts, which is under Article 2 and 3 of the Genocide Convention. And lastly, but most importantly, the ICJ, or the International Court of Justice, allotted Israel a time period of 1 month to submit its reports on the measures taken to implement this very ruling. So, in just another 2 weeks, Israel is due to submit its report to the ICJ. Now, let us take a look at the figures. As per the data given by Hamas-run Palestinian Health Ministry, before 26th of January, that is when ICJ gave its verdict on genocide case against Israel, the death toll recorded in Gaza was 26,083, which means that since October 7th to January 26th, that's a time frame of 112 days, there have been over 26,000 deaths in Gaza. Now, when we look at the latest figures, the death recorded on 11th February, it stands at 28,176. And this means that within a span of 15 days, we're talking about 15 days, there have been 2,093 deaths in the Gaza Strip. So when we compare the average death toll figures, we can say that before the ICJ ruling, there has been 233 deaths. And after the ICJ ruling, there has been 140 deaths per day. Now, this war has moved to a phase where Israel is planning to launch its offensive on one of the largest cities of Gaza. We're talking about Rafah here. This is the same place where more than half of Gaza's population has taken refuge. Almost 1.4 million people who are currently living in Rafah. Hamas has warned that Israel's potential offensive in Rafah could result in tens and thousands of deaths. Well, the pressing concern and the pertinent question being here is, will Israel be able to avoid more casualties in this war? And will Israel abide by ICJ's measures in the Gaza Strip?